Alright, you're asking about hi-hats, and Braden mentioned me, and I'm in the studio as we speak. I've had a few cans, I won't lie to you, but I thought I'd just show you what I do with hi-hats, fucking hell, with my drum and bass. So I've got this going on. It's a bit quiet, isn't it? Just a little something I'm working on. Lovely. So, hi-hats. In terms of groove, when I'm making drum and bass, I always have this, like, I'll play it. Hopefully you can hear that. You might need to put headphones on or have decent speakers on. But always have that constant. You could just have one stream of, if you know what I mean, just that thing. But it's nice to have two different ones. And then I always have a high distorted ride, which is this. That if I play it, and if you kind of listen to this and follow the groove of it, it's a bit quiet, but I'll turn it up for a sec. And whereas the other ones are just like that constant tick, 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 this one follows the bass. So if you listen to it, turn it back down again, and then if I play it all, I hope that makes sense. I'm really drunk, so it probably doesn't. But yeah, so basically in terms of rhythm, I always have the constant, that constant, because it just swings along with the beat, and I always have a little bass follower, usually a distorted ride, which is this. Because the bass line is you see what I mean? So in terms of rhythm, I always do that every track. I probably should change it. Don't know why I do that every track. It seems to work. In terms of processing, if I open up what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Oh yeah, if I open up Span and play the track. So yeah, it may not be the best mix down so far, but so in terms of my hi-hats, I don't know if you can see these little lines on I don't know what I'm pointing at the screen, but I really only want to fill this top region. So in terms of processing, if I open up my hi-hats, I can't remember what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm thinking about other stuff because I've been in the studio all night and I'm pretty stoned and pretty drunk. So yeah, in terms of processing, I need that span open. My hi-hats, because I use a lot of loops and stuff, and they've got little hi-hats and stuff in, my actual hi-hat groove and real top end stuff is really heavily processed. And if I play out just the hats on that own, hopefully, yeah, you can see that it's a tiny bit of 3K and then just up to 10K. And to get there, this is something I did tonight, which is pretty insane. Don't be put off by this EQ or by any of these processors, because the real trick is you've just got to get it to sound right. So if I turn off all the effects on these hi-hats, that's what they sound like without any effects on at all. And then it may not sound that different, but in terms of the whole mix, and when it's all played together it really is different. To get there, this EQ, I know what you're saying, but if I play it and turn this EQ off, listen to the sibilance that comes down around 11 and 10 and 8k. Okay, listen, I'm going to turn it off now. It's too biting, there's too much kind of ringy sibilance-ness, and then I'm going to turn it back on. It just mushes it out a bit. This Camel Crusher is doing most of it. I've just got the default British crunch on, but if I turn it off, you can hardly hear the hats at all. Turn it on, and I've got that mixed in at about 60%. That's just the British crunch, 60% dry wet. Love it. And then Camel Fat. This Camel Fat's actually bringing the volume down a bit, because if I turn it off, the hats get louder and there's more sibilance. Maybe just because they're louder, but if I turn it on again, I just pull the volume down with it a little bit. I'll put loads of bit crush on, like nearly 75% of bit crush. You'll know with the bit crush because it really drastically changes at a certain point. If you hold down CTRL in Windows, I don't know what the equivalent is on Mac. I haven't got my Mac in front of me, but I'm lost again now. Anyway, loads of bit crush, and then I use this bandpass filter just to remove, even though you really can't hear what you're removing, just to make sure, like, somewhere up there. So yeah, and then a fruity fast distort, which won't help Ableton users at all, but if I turn it off, not much difference, but if I turn it on, just takes again just a little tiny bit of sibilance out. All I'm doing with that is it's just a distortion unit mixed at about 48%, so off, little bit of ringy, sibilly, on, just a little bit duller. And you always wanna just get rid of that 11k, 8k, mainly 11k, always around 11. That sibilance, that ringy, horrible shitness. And then another EQ, just a parametric EQ. Looks drastic, but it's just random. I just sat there tonight and just, you can see here, like, I don't know what you can see there. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then a limiter. This limiter actually is just a side chain, so you can see I've got it just above the peaks, and if I get some, if I get the track playing with the some drums, it's going to be really choppy because of the way this works. But yeah, you can see the hats are being side chained by the kick and the snare. So if I turn the side chain off, right, at the moment, see the hats are a bit washy, they're kind of sitting too much on top, so just a little side chain, and I'll turn it on now. Just helps to keep them a little bit down. Anyway, I hope some of that was hopeful. I hope I made sense. Next time I'll try and be a bit more sober. Peace.